is the news on NTA International. I am Mina Daniels. And now the headlines. Former President Trump returns home in New Jersey after assassination attempts. Egypt records 7.4% year-on-year decline in Suez Canal revenues for fiscal year ending in June. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercepts cocaine and opiates en route to United States, United Kingdom, and Cyprus. Afghan comments a federal government on local government autonomy, describes Vatican State for the people. Americans and the rest of the world have continued to react to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump at a campaign rally at the Butler, Pennsylvania. Colum Mohammed has details.
After the shooting, Donald Trump was rushed off stage with blood streaked across his face. Eyewitnesses say they saw the suspected gunman before the shooting and drew police attention.
I was sitting there, a guy said, "Oh God, he had a gun." I looked up, there's a guy on top of the building, right over there, with an M16, with a blanket, pointing at the president. He starts shooting. Bow, bow, bow.
President Joe Biden described it as sick, adding that there was no place in America for this kind of violence.
But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well.
After leaving the hospital in early hours of Sunday for checks and assessments, Donald Trump posted a message to the world. He said, and I quote, "In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united. We fear not," end of quote. He said he was shot in the ear and described it as a bullet ripping through skin. In the meantime, presidents and prime ministers across the world have expressed their support for former United States President Donald Trump and spoken out against political violence following an assassination attempt against the Republican candidate at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Leaders from South Africa, European Union, China, France, Hungary, United Kingdom, India, Israel, and Holland, amongst others, said political violence in any form is not acceptable in world democracy. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has named the gunman as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Cox. He was shot and killed by the Secret Service, and no further arrests have so far been made. Colum Mohammed, NTA News.
Egypt has recorded a 7.4% year-on-year decline in Suez Canal revenues for the first 9 months of the 2023-24 fiscal year ending in June. The canal is one of the most crucial waterways in the world and is a key source of foreign currency earnings for Egypt.
A Liberian-flagged tanker is the latest target of Houthi attacks at Israeli-linked ships along the Red Sea, which connects with the Suez Canal. The incident adds more woes to the Egyptian waterway that has seen revenues drop to $5.8 billion for the first 9 months, down from $6.2 billion recorded during the same period last year, as more shipping firms avoid the volatile region.
Instabilities in the Suez Canal does not only affect the Egyptian economy, but it also has its repercussions on global trade.
According to the World Trade Organization, about 12% of international trade and 20% of global oil trade runs through this vital corridor that links Asia, Africa, and Europe.
عملية تحرك السفن The importance of the location of the canal is that it saves time and money for shipping firms. Any disruptions at the Suez Canal push prices of goods and commodities up, disrupt supply chains, and cause global inflationary effects. We've seen this happen before when there have been other geopolitical incidents.
Some experts believe alternative routes to the Suez Canal are essential, though not as effective yet.
There are problems in the North Pole route with the surrounding ice mountains, although there are efforts to make it more practical route by 2050. The Cape of Good Hope is challenging for shipping and is much longer than Suez Canal, as vessels take an extra 10 to 14 days, which means more fuel consumption, and it also slows down supplies.
Suez Canal was one of the major sources of hard currency for Egypt, with record revenues of about $10 billion in 2022-2023. Government officials say the Suez Canal Authority is working hard to maintain its clients and continues to modernize the waterway.
The canal is offering discount and incentives to returning clients and will continue to do so. It announced that it will transform into a green canal using green hydrogen and clean energy pretty soon. There's also construction underway to widen the canal and prevent any congestion, to allow larger vessels through and to speed up the transit process.
Despite the decline in shipping activities being experienced in the region today, officials say it's only temporary and are hopeful of a rapid recovery once a ceasefire is struck to end the ongoing conflict in Gaza.
And it is certain now that Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye is closing the French military base in Dakar. However, there were hopes for a further revitalization of the Senegal-French military relations. Kolo Mohammed tells us more.
A few days before President Diomaye Faye was sworn in, he had a phone conversation with President Macron of France. These, according to French media, assured France of continued military presence in Dakar, where it occupied a large army base. Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko recently raised the possibility of closing French military bases in Senegal and also touched on the Euro-backed CFA franc currency, oil and gas deals, as well as LGBTQ rights. Sonko is said to have been a critic of perceived overreach by France in its former colony for a long time. In his closing remarks, he said more than 60 years after independence from France, Senegal must question the reasons why the French army, for example, still benefits from several military bases in Senegal, and the impact of its presence on national sovereignty is not objective in nature. Senegal's president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, in an interview on Sunday, said he is willing to discuss the question of French military presence in his country with serenity and without brutal ruptures. Mr. Faye added that even ECOWAS is in difficulty following the departure of 3 of its members. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
And presidential election is due to hold on Monday, 15th of July 2024 in Rwanda. Incumbent President Paul Kagame is in the race, seeking for a 4th term in office as president of the East African country. Details with Kolo Mohammed once again.
President Paul Kagame and 2 others are in the race for president, with polls set to open Monday morning. According to the National Election Commission, 9.5 million registered voters are eligible to vote. The 3 presidential contenders, including incumbent President Paul Kagame of the ruling Rwandan Patriotic Front RPF, Frank Mbaneza of the opposition Democratic Green Party of Rwanda, and Philippe Mpayimana, an independent candidate, have all deeply pitched tent with the nation regarding the genocide that took place 30 years ago. With these, the candidates expect to win the hearts of Rwandan voters at the polls. Kagame, who has been in power since 2000, is almost certain to win a 4th term, according to political commentators, based on his nationwide support. He won the last election in 2017 for a 7-year term with more than 98% of the votes, according to official figures. He is in the race again after a 2015 constitutional amendment which allows him to run for 3 more terms, but shorter term of 5 years starting 2024. All 3 candidates held their last closed-in campaign rallies in the capital Kigali on Saturday. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA have intercepted various quantities of cocaine and opiates concealed in soles of shoes, clothes and other items being shipped to the United States, United Kingdom and Cyprus via some courier firms in Lagos. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim tells us more.
No less than 250 grams of cocaine going to Cyprus was hidden in soles of custom-made shoes. More than 5 kilograms of opioids heading to the US and United Kingdom were discovered by NDLEA officers in clothes and other household items meant to be shipped through some courier firms in Lagos. Following credible intelligence, NDLEA operatives in Edo State on Wednesday, 10th July, intercepted a vehicle at Isan Central Local Government Area. A 30-year-old man was searched and was found with custard containers where 3,000 pills of tramadol were buried in the custard powder. In another operation, at least 2,455 kilograms of materials for the production of akuskura, a new psychoactive substance, were recovered from a warehouse in Konduga town, Konduga local government area of Borno State on Thursday, 9th July, when NDLEA operatives in a joint operation with men of the Nigerian army raided the area. The following day, Wednesday, 10th July, in Lagos, raided a warehouse in Lekki where they recovered 148 cartons of non-medical nitro oxide, popularly called laughing gas. A female suspect was arrested in connection with the seizure. With the same zeal, commands and formations of the agency across the country continued with their war against drug abuse with sensitization activities, seizures and arrests. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dr. May Nasara Omar Kongo as the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Dr. Kongo is a seasoned lawyer and analyst in the fields of law, security, economy, politics, and international diplomacy. The president anticipates professionalism, integrity, and fidelity to the nation in the discharge of the functions of the office of the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal. And moving on, President Bola Tinubu has extended his congratulations to Prince Ndoka Oba Ibena on the occasion of his 65th birthday. President Tinubu notes the enterprising spirit of the former president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, who's founder of This Day Newspapers, Arise Magazine, and the Arise News Channel. The president, in a statement signed by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajiri Ngalale, praised for greater achievements for the renowned publisher, whose philanthropic efforts, especially in education, have demonstrated his passion for human development. This is the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break now, but we'll be back shortly. Please stay with us. Thanks for joining us again. In an extensive initiative to support education in Osun State, the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has flagged off the distribution of exercise books to all secondary schools in the state. Correspondent Femi Afariogun reports that wife of Osun State Governor Titilola Adeleke represented the First Lady at the event in Osogbo.
The flag-off distribution of exercise books to all secondary schools in Osun State aligns with broader educational reforms by the First Lady of Nigeria, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, aimed at improving access to quality education. Mrs. Tinubu, represented by Mrs. Titilola Adeleke, wife of the Osun State Governor, emphasized the importance of education and the role it plays in the development of young minds and the future of Nigeria.
May I use this opportunity to appeal to parents to complement government's efforts on our children's education needs. Let us support the government of the day.
Osho State Commissioner for Education, Eluwole Adedipo, reiterated Governor Adeleke's commitment to ensuring quality education is given to the students.
Our governor is a lover of education. That is why he keyed in into the federal government programs in this state.
What you have done here this day will go a long way to ensure effective teaching and learning.
The initiative by the First Lady of Nigeria aims to distribute tens of thousands of exercise books in Osun State, ensuring that no student is left behind. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
The federal government has been commended for its victory at the Supreme Court, leading to the autonomy of the 774 local governments. Members of the Board of Trustees of Association of Local Governments of Nigeria gave the commendation in Abuja. The BOT described the verdict of the Apex Court and the matter as a commendable milestone, a win for the people and a step towards the attainment of devolution of power at the grassroots. The body advocated the need for the amendment of the Constitution to scrap state electoral commissions and empower INEC to conduct local government elections. It reaffirmed its readiness to collaborate with the federal government to ensure accountability in the running of the affairs of the third tier of government. And the federal government has launched the Prevention of Mother-to-Child Transmission and Pediatrics AIDS Scale-Up Acceleration Committee to accelerate progress in the prevention of mother-to-child transmission towards meeting the UN target of ending AIDS by 2030. Minister of State for Health, Dr. Tunji Alausa, who inaugurated the committee, noted that Nigeria faces a critical challenge in the prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV, observing that the committee will be replicated at the state level to provide oversight to the PMTC scale-up plan in the states. To care for children and women living with HIV. Concerns that despite comprehensive strategy and accompanying financial commitment, PMTCT and the pediatric HIV coverage remains critically low in the country. And the Director General, Dr. Temitope Lori, further revealed that Nigeria's epidemiological estimates show 140,000 children under 14 years are living with HIV as of 2023, with 20,000 new infections and 15,000 AIDS-related deaths in children. Current PMTCT and pediatric HIV coverage remain alarmingly low at less than 33%, far short of the 95% targets.
Unacceptable, it's too high. So it's important that we all come together and we try to work on this, the PMTCT work. You know, it's very good.
And this year's commemoration of a National Diaspora Day is on the way, with this year's theme as Japa Phenomena and its implications for national development. Speaking to newsmen on the upcoming event, Chairman NIDCAM Abike Dabiri Rewa said the consequence of this phenomenon has led to the decline of strong human resources as Nigerians relocating are the youths, which makes a downward turn on labor and productivity in the country. She noted that the Commission hopes to change the narrative by celebrating those vibrant Nigerians who are making positive impacts in the diaspora and making the country very proud.
We say that, you know, as you leave, don't forget your country. As you leave, you become a better person. As you leave, we hope that we'll be celebrating you, not having the bad, you know, stories about irregular Japa or irregular migration. So this year's National Diaspora Day celebration is a call to action for us all, public and private-driven sectors, government agencies, and the media. This phenomenon demands our collective attention to find ways to leverage the expertise and resources of the diaspora for national development.
The Diaspora Day will feature Helmstrings program for the second and third generation of Nigerians in the diaspora, presentations on special diaspora projects by Nigerians in diaspora, commissioning, among other activities. Intercepting close to 20,000 liters of petrol within 3 days is a feat which the Special Task Force, codenamed Operation Whirlwind, has vowed to sustain simply because of the huge economic loss the diversion of such volume will have cost the country. As a way of cutting the supply chain, the national coordinator of the unit, Hussein Ejibunu, said the operation of the team will soon be extended across the borderline, serving as destination for such diversion. Michael Olaleye reports.
Worried by the trend in which petroleum products already subsidized are diverted to neighboring countries, thereby incurring huge financial loss for the country, Operation Whirlwind Task Force team was set up to defend the national currency while reducing pressure on domestic demand. These 750 jerry cans of petrol are products of 3 days of extensive operations propelled by intelligence sharing and desire to nip bunkering in the board.
Like Ijon, it was intercepted where somebody passed a nozzle underground across to the next building, and they were there doing their normal business. Otherwise, you will just be driving, you drive past the filling station, you will not see any activity there. You think, oh, these people, they are not selling. But at the backyard, they are there doing their illegitimate trade.
For the customs, the success is not just about intercepting the commodity, but ensuring that the proceeds of such crime are not allowed to cross the border.
We have already succeeded in cutting the supply chain out, in the sense that, for instance, in Adamawa, before we got to Adamawa, fuel was selling for 950, but with our operations there, price fell to 690.
As a way of sustaining the successes achieved by the anti-bunkering operation, the unit says it will heighten surveillance across the 20 borders in the country while assuring that perpetrators have a date with the courts. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
The African Legends of Arts, Management, Politics, Science, Sports and Security LAMS Awards, alongside other stakeholders, are set to organize a platform in order to identify and honor worthy men and women in Africa. President of the Africa LAMS Awards, Shana Phillips, during a chat with newsmen, stressed the importance of partnering the media to celebrate Africa's high achievers in key areas of human endeavors. Adejoke Odeka tells us more.
Members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm being equipped with information on the task ahead of them, which is being part of the process of projecting the rich human capital resources and positive contributions to humanity. President of Africa LAMS Awards says incorporating the media in the awards process is pivotal.
The media play a major role in human development, aside reportage. We see that there's a huge place of partnership with the media, and that with this particular award, we are partnering with the Guild of Editors.
The award will honor winners in 14 different categories. The Africa's Media House of the Year, the African Music Personality of the Year, African CEO of the Year, amongst others.
Media has 2 slots there. Media Practitioner of the Year or whatever in the award. So that brings me into it. And once I'm in it, I will see that the process is fair, the process is rigorous.
President of the Nigerian Guild of Editors re-echoed the association's support for the initiative.
This is a homegrown award which I thought we should support and grow as our own export to the world. If he's going to rate leaders in Africa, technocrats in Africa, sportsmen in Africa, and it's a Nigerian developed award for the continent.
With this credible initiative, the Africa Lamps Awards, which has been in existence since 2014, aims to become a major global attraction so as to inspire winners to have a higher level of commitment and professionalism. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
And now to the sports update.
It will be a cracker in the European football later tonight as England and Spain are set for an epic battles in the final of Euro 2024 in Berlin, Germany. Spain, who are back-to-back winners in 2008 and 2012 edition, have impressed throughout the tournament as the only team who won all their matches, scoring 13 goals. While England, a pre-tournament favourite, are relying on experience as they look to lift any major trophy since 58 years.
For England, yes, they are hoping that they can win their first European Championship. The last major tournament they won was in 1966. For Spain, they become a serial winner in Spain in Europe, and so it's going to be a battle of two teams trying to really outdo each other. When you put into consideration the way manner they all made it to the final, I think for the Spanish team it has been more an interesting adventure.
5 Nigerian youth bowlers comprising 4 boys and girls are currently representing the country at the World Youth Championship Bowling Tournament holding in Korea Republic. The Nigerian team, who departed the country seas, are currently battling it out for a place at the podium in the men's and women's single as well as the double events. According to the Federation official Gabriel Olubumi, the athletes have performed incredibly well as they look to win medals in the event, with Team Nigeria already in quarterfinals in the team events. To other news, as IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja has been commended for adding value to the country's sports through golf, former head of state General Ibrahim Babangida made this indication when he received executive members of the club led by its captain Ibrahim Babayo at his hilltop residence in Minna, the Niger state capital.
We had also come to inform him of the annual IBB Classics that will be doing every August, which will be a pro-am and of international status.
Still on golf, Australia's Stephanie Kiriakou heads into the final round of the Avian Championship with a one-shot lead. Kiriakou, chasing her first major title, hit 7 birdies in the 3rd round, including on the 18th in a 4-under par 67 to lead the 14-under. With sport update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
And now we look at the weather report for Monday in Nigeria and some parts of the world. This is where we end the news. Thanks for watching. I am Mina Daniels.